Welcome to Megapath Presents. I'm Ronnie Hayes, and I got some quickie news for fans of the Walking Dead comic. Now, they shown a preview for issue 157, which is the first part of the Whisperer War. However, before we go into the preview and a couple predictions, I just gotta show you guys this. Issue 157, remember how I showed you guys the black and white? I guess it was the product example version. I don't believe there's a black and white version at this time, but we now have a color version of this Michonne cover. This is a variant cover, and I am super hyped because the black and white looked cool, but this color version is gorgeous. I already have 2 copies on reserve at my local comic shop. I have 2 copies of the variant and 2 of the standard Whisperer War cover because both of them look amazing. You guys already know I grab double copies all the time, but the coloring on this cover blows me away. There's something about it, from the background to the Whisperers / zombies coming out of the woods to the foreground with Michonne in action. There's something about this cover that I am in love with. I think it's kick-ass, and I just had to share this with you guys. And keep in mind, we're getting a variant cover for every issue in the Whisperer War. So that's 6 variant covers by the same artist, so I can only imagine the other 5 are gonna be just as awesome. Now about the preview we're getting for issue 157, the very first panel, we see Heath riding a horse saying, "All clear." Then we see Dwight telling him, "Yeah, still clear, Heath." Same with all the other checkpoints. We have, oh man, what's her name? Dwight's new girl, Laura. She's standing up behind him, and then on the ground is Magna aiming the sniper rifle. And I'm thrilled, first off, to see Magnum in the story again. And I'm thrilled to see Heath back in the story. I'm hoping they're going to play a decent part in the Whisperer War, at least see some action. And I'm actually very hyped to see Lucille on the battlefield, because that means, or the possible battlefield, because that means Negan is possibly out there. And I do believe the end of this issue might not be the actual start of the Whisperer War, which it probably is gonna be, you know, a charge or something, or a declaration of war as far as the Whisperers saying, let's get ready. I do believe the ending might actually be with Negan coming up to Alexandria, and I've discussed this before. I want them to have their, I'm not going to go through it again, but have their interaction between Negan and Rick, show him Alpha's head, and continue it from there, and then end that knowing that part 2 is probably going to be the first confrontation with the war, or we might just get right into the bloodshed in this issue. I don't know, it's hard to tell. And what throws me off is the fact that we have the Whisperers in this second panel. They are just finding Alpha's body. Now, Beta doesn't look as wrecked as I thought he would be. I thought he'd be fuming. Maybe they'll show him fuming next, but one of the Whisperers says Alpha is dead with a question mark. Another one's like, oh my god. And then the chick to the right is just straight up calling it out that Negan did this. Like, they know it. There's no way Negan's going to get out of this one. And I do believe Negan has fled and he's on his way to Alexandria. Most likely, I can't really think of anywhere else he would go with Alpha's head. And Beta is most likely going to say, okay, get everyone together, we are going to war. So I think that's what that part is about. And then the third panel we get is the Kingdom. Now this, I am very unsure about. I do believe if we are seeing the Kingdom, we might actually see Michonne coming to the Kingdom to kind of talk them into accepting her as the new leader. Now, if that's not the case, then I don't know what they could do. We might even see, and this is just a thought that popped in my head because, you know, I'm thinking that the Kingdom's just going to go with whatever they say, Rick and Michonne and everybody. What if the Kingdom does say, hell no, we don't want you to lead. As a matter of fact, we know there was a time of peace, But to be honest, we're not feeling this. The whole time we're thinking the saviors are going to be the ones to back out of this alliance. But what if it's the kingdom? And I know that there's a trade agreement, so maybe they don't want to back out of the thing, but it was just an idea that popped in my head because it would be a total surprise. I would be taken off guard if the kingdom was like, you know what, nah, you're on your own. I'd be pretty shocked by that. So I'm really curious to see what you guys think of these three panels. I'm on the fence right now. I'm not really certain we're going to see a full-on war start in this issue. I almost said episode. But I am convinced we will see Negan get to Alexandria. We will see a verbal confrontation between Rick and Negan. And I am hoping the last panel will be the gates of Alexandria closing with Negan and Rick making an alliance and them two being side by side as the gates of Alexandria close. I still am in love with that idea, so I'm hoping we get something similar to that. But I definitely believe the blood will flow in issue 158. So we'll see. But now it's your turn. What do you think is going to happen in part 1 of the Whisper War? And do not forget to let me know what you think about this cover. I am in love with it. Thoughts and opinions in that comment box. I'm done talking. It's your turn.
Subscribe now.